Yo, 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 what's
Hello.
up?
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. All right, hands up. This will be a shorter one than usual.
I feel like we've said that before, though. We never actually do it.
Very true. I'm also having to hold my mic because my boom mic, kind of is messing up right now.
If you start singing soon, you've been warned.
I don't want that to happen. It'll be a bad scene if I start singing. All right. This has been just a hectic day for both of us. Busy at work. And I know T has had a lot going on with just at work yourself. So a few topics today. We're going to go over some of our favorite parts of the Kendall Dolby interview that we had. And kind of just tell you what we gleaned from that and where we think we really see a lot of improvement from last year, at least in terms of a mindset. Obviously, we aren't able to see practices yet, and I do emphasize yet, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and then get into some women's basketball, obviously played today, and then just some other Sooner news that we kind of got into and saw over the weekend. So.
Right. And if you're new here, we are the Voice of College Football Oklahoma. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. During the season, we will also do post-game reactions. We're looking at potentially adding a call-in show, but we feel like that's more in the future, but our network feels like maybe we'd be ready for it sooner, so we'll see. But we are here every Monday at 7. So if you're here again, this is not your first time, welcome back. And if this is your first time, then what's up? Hello. We hope you join us again. There is a live chat over on YouTube. So if you're watching from X, you can hop on over to the YouTube app or whatever it might be, and you can join Stacy and Steve and Doug and a few others that usually make themselves known in our little community.
And sorry, I am doing live promo here.
Live Xing.
By the way, same T-shirt.
Yeah, we're matching.
Didn't even plan this either. Great minds think alike.
We really have no, we've mentioned we don't really see each other when we get home from work on Mondays. We do in passing, but we're just we're running a million miles an hour just all through the house.
Yep.
Trying to just get everything ready for tomorrow, for the show. Have to eat because I'm starving when I get home. You do not want me on this show hungry, so.
That's true.
There's that. But yeah. See, Stacy always remind us, please like and subscribe. You can like the video,
please.
Subscribe to our channel. Always welcome to leave a nice comment in the comment sections. Or a mean one. I don't care. Comments still are engagement. So, if you want to tell us we suck, my hair looks dumb.
It really is
Chad's
true.
hair looks dumb, go ahead. I don't care.
Don't make yourself a liar by commenting, No, but, hey, so, man, where do you want to start, T? We got a
new hire.
Got a new hire. Talk about that a little bit.
Ooh,
and I'm leaning on you. It's an assistant GM role.
Yes,
correct?
Taylor Red. He is an assistant GM, which, funny enough, I think Mark and, I forgot her name. I just went blank. Another girl that's part of our network. They actually did a video in it, and it's shared on our channel. They clipped, I guess, a time when they were talking together and put it. Didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I'm sure it's fabulous. Leanne. Mark and Leanne.
Boom.
Could not think of her name. And yeah, that still might be wrong, but I can see it in my head. So yeah, we have an assistant GM, which we already hired the GM, and I know that nobody had any bad things to say about that. So it's the same thing. Nobody has anything bad to say about Taylor Red joining the Oklahoma Sooners because we are leaning more heavily on, what is it, like NFL style, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Type of management. And so he definitely has the skills. He was a part of the Patriots staff when they won, I believe, the latest Super Bowl. And go ahead and tell me the year.
Look at you. Oh, I don't know.
I didn't check the year. I'm not a year's A, but
whatever year the refs stopped getting direct deposits from Tom Brady from TB12, that's the last year.
He was a part of that. So he was a part of, the development and management there, which is always good if you have somebody out there that's been a part of Super Bowl wins. He was also a part of the Wake Forest staff. He was in charge of some recruiting and roster management type things. And at his time at Wake Forest is actually when Wake Forest made its run to the ACC championship.
I mean, did you do this research or what? Jeez.
So it just shows that his ability to obviously manage, recruit talent, analyze is not the word I'm looking for. Analyze talent.
Yeah.
But it's not the word I'm
actually.
Scout talent. Yeah, I guess so.
Find.
No.
Uncover.
Analyze is the word I'm like. It's a synonym.
Critique. Analyze, critique.
These are all
breakdown.
fabulous. I got a thesaurus here. But no, it's not the word I'm looking for. I'll think of it when we're off. I'll be laying in bed at night and yell it across the house it was this word. assess, maybe was the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
I don't know. But so it shows us his ability to do that. And apparently he actually was working with Brent Venables through the winter transfer portal. Mm-hmm. So that to me was kind of promising. Evaluate. Thank you.
Yep. That's straight off the head too. Didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah, you didn't hear typing at all. So he actually was already working with Brent Venables in that type of role with the winter portal, which actually makes me feel better. Not that I ever have I feel like doubts. We already talked about it. There's some people that are always online like, why are we getting, guys not from Power 5? Why are we doing this, that, or the other? Well, if somebody who was a part of Super Bowl championships, who basically flipped Wake Forest, who has worked with Jim Nagy himself and things of that nature, if he's analyzing and is evaluating these talents and seeing that they have, the stuff, I don't really care where they come from. And as Brent Venables mentioned in one of his, I think is right before spring ball started, interviews, is that 25% of the guys that go to the combine did not start at a Power 5 school.
Yep.
Or Power 4 now, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
very true.
I mean, it's another great hire. And I think it's just, this is where I feel like Oklahoma, sometimes we always maybe do things later, if that makes sense. And as a state in general, I feel like we're not always on top of anything besides newborn hearing screenings. We're fabulous at that. Speech pathology, notice. So this is where I feel like Oklahoma's actually leading the way with hiring GMs and legit GMs. No, not somebody who just they kind of promoted into that spot. That's not shade at Curtis Lofton, but I generally just need somebody who has more experience doing that job. And then you hire an assistant on top of that. To me, it's setting the bar, and I think that's just going to be something that you find more and more and more in college football. And I'm sure other schools have it. It's just, I feel like sometimes when I look at the comments, which I say nobody has bad things to say, there's always trolls. There'll be trolls that say, oh, OU's down so bad they have to hire a GM. There'll be a couple of those, but then there's always somebody that says essentially this is where college football is going. It's actually very intelligent to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
And I think again it just reflects on what Castiglione has done. Since he's started to make people have started calling for him. He hires a Jim Nagy. He goes out and gets Randall Stevenson. He goes out and gets Rosenberg, and then he hires Taylor Redd, or allows Nagy to hire Taylor Redd. He gives him the reins and says, you make this area, this department the best you think it can be. And he's not going to micromanage. He's going to trust that they're going to make decisions that are going to benefit them and push that area of the football program forward. And it just shows, I think, an investment of the professional side of where college athletics is going, and a side that Oklahoma's not going to steer away from or be scared of embracing.
Right.
Whether or not they get it right this first time is still yet to be seen.
What I am
encouraged, What I'm encouraged by is the yearning and the energy spent on getting the right people in place and not being afraid to make these hires and these changes.
Absolutely. And Brent Venables also mentioned by hiring a GM and now an assistant GM and a lot of these other staffs like that, it's so they can focus on coaching, and these guys can focus more on the recruiting, the assessment, the evaluations, the negotiations, the contracts, and all that the coaches no longer have to worry about. So to me, that you're going to become better at the other job because you have less on your plate. And so he mentioned, instead of for us as coaches having to go out there and cast a large net into the ocean, these GMs who have been analyzing and evaluating talent all year can be like, hey, drop your net over here. You're going to catch fish.
Right.
And so that's just, it's smart. And Oklahoma probably isn't the first, might be, but won't be the last that has a GM and an assistant GM, and probably all the other
deputy assistant. I can scout the northern Oklahoma City area.
The assistant to the assistant.
Yeah, assistant to the assistant GM. That's awesome. But yeah, so good news there. Obviously exciting stuff at the front office type positions that Oklahoma's looking at hiring and continuing to develop. I've been reading some articles just recently on just the upcoming season. Bill Connolly, ESPN, obviously, college football expert, a guy that really looks at a lot of the teams throughout the season and kind of just gives his opinions on where the schools are going forward into 2025. He's one that kind of listed Oklahoma as having the hardest schedule, and I don't think it's anything that you could say or anything you could disagree with.
Yeah.
And he came out and said Oklahoma is his team to watch right now for 2025. And he made the point, and I think it's one we've made several times, even going into last season, that despite what OU had to deal with offensively, when you look at what they're going to have in have in their on their roster and in their staff going into 2025, you know the defense is going to be solid and good. You know that Brent Venables is always going to field an efficient and really physical and tough defense. You counterbalance that now, like in his article, he's pointing out within offense, where obviously you don't know how the Washington State offense is going to transition, and it's something that I want to bring up that we talked to Kendall Dolby about. But you look at how that offense will transition. Say it works out, you're looking at a team that he thinks is really, really scary. Obviously, they're going to have a really tough schedule, but he thinks even a 4-loss OU would get in the playoff, depending on what those games look like. Because Oklahoma has a chance to play the top 6 teams in the country. So you lose 4 of those, you lose 2 of those games, maybe another game here. 3-loss probably. I would say 3-loss. 4-loss can be tough.
Michigan bounce back and be another.
But you're looking at a team that is really going to have to do. That's going to have a tough schedule, and it's going to have a guy at quarterback coming in that. And I don't want to leapfrog, I guess, to that segment, but on you're going to have a guy at quarterback now and an offensive coordinator that's bringing energy and just a lot of hope right now, especially for the defensive players. And I think if they were being honest, they would tell you that for the first time in a while, they feel a lot of hope on the offensive side coming in.
And definitely. And that's something that Kendall Dolby did say, is that, the attitude, the energy, the vibes are just a lot different on the offensive side of the ball. They're more confident. He said, and I don't know if you played the clip, he said, but the offense didn't want to play the defense last year. He's like, and they were eating them up in spring ball. He said that they were not, I don't want to say just not good, but I mean, because that wasn't his words. But essentially he was saying it was like they were dominating the offense, and offense was not confident. Offense was not playing hard. He's like, but this year he's like, man, this offense is hungry. They're energetic. He's like, sometimes they win some, sometimes we win some.
Right.
Which is a good balance.
And I think you remember hearing that all last season. So we had asked him, what is this energy like on offense? We see the clips. We're hoping those aren't. Obviously they're put out for promotional reasons and to get me to think we're going to win a natty next year. But he said too. He was very honest. He goes, look, I don't want to. And like T said, I don't want to talk bad about last year's team. But he goes, I ain't gonna lie, we were cooking the offense last year because they couldn't really move the ball. And I think what you heard a lot going into last season was, well, look, our defense is just that good. And I think it really was really, really, really good. I think a lot of people with hindsight, emotions settle. They really look at just the statistics and what the positions that our defense has put in. Really will see that defense as being one of the best we've had in over a decade, for sure. And it's probably the best we've had since the mid-2000s, probably 2008. But, he had talked about, their offense now is just there's so much energy. They look forward to going to the 1v1s and the team segments in practice. They don't, it's not a deal where it's a weird energy anymore. Like, please, let our offense do something here so it doesn't look terrible for them the whole practice. But it's something where they're actually, the offense is actually competing a lot and actually moving the ball on them and doing a lot of good things.
And one thing he mentioned too was, again, he's like, I'm not trying to, dog on any guys from last year. But even in games, it's felt like we had to do. He's like, I don't want to say he said it was exhausting, but in a way it was, because I know you said, I hope that you get yourself an offense that, can make something happen after you guys make a turnover, or could really escalate on those types of things and elevate the game. And he's like, believe me, man, me too. Like, believe me too. And so you get the vibe that that's how they felt. But the defense played hard. I mean, what was it, South Carolina game? They scored, obviously, a lot on us. But there's only one time the entire game they went more than 40 yards.
Yeah.
Because of where our offense was placing them. And it's amazing they didn't score 80 that game. But but they only had one drive that was 72, 77 yards, something like that. So I'm excited for it. Makes me wish there was a spring game, because I'm starting to get that longing for football again. And the spring game's kind of like that little pacifier.
Well, it's like, and make time to go out to the pro day, the Crimson Combine that they're going to have. I think it's still going to be a really fun event. There'll be a lot of people there. You'll see all the players. You'll see Mateer throw. You'll see a lot of stuff go on. Yeah, it's new, but at some point, I don't think they're going to have a spring game. And they can say all they want about it. You don't want to have people. That's not the reason. The reason is money. I'm sorry, the reason's money. People, we're talking about basketball later. The reason why Porter Moser isn't going to get fired, there's 0% chance of it unless he gets a job to Villanova that'll take a salary.
Yeah.
It's because of money. They don't want to spend unnecessary money where they don't have to. And as much as we love the spring game, it's a lot of money for stuff that I don't think they get a lot of benefit out of in terms of the money that they could spend in other areas. in recruiting and hiring more staff and getting a better talent acquisition.
I was actually sad.
So
More.
that's it.
I was actually more sad. I wasn't so sad about the spring game until they canceled the ladies' clinic for this year.
And
Then I was,
I think.
hey,
I think you're
the
right.
women
I think
spent
you're right.
a lot of money there. The tickets
did.
are not cheap. And then, granted, here's the thing. All of the, auction stuff they gave away was money to charity, which is fantastic. But then part of me is like, in an era of NIL, we put half of it towards charity and half of it towards NIL. Don't say all of it, because that's where you're going to go. But, even if the ticket sales, we had, 500 women there last year with $250 a ticket.
True. That
could go towards NIL.
Well,
and then all of the prizes, all of the why keep I losing that word? All the auction items could go towards charity.
Auction.
But alas, I'm just sad. They said they'll have it in 2026, but I was sad. Granted, I thought I wasn't going to get to go to it anyway because we have a wedding in LA that weekend. But apparently it was going to be a different weekend, so I could have made it. But very sad. And I'm sure there's other women in either watching or in the comments that have gone to ladies' clinic and who are equally disappointed because it was a really, really good time.
Also, Kendall Dolby really dropped some knowledge, and something I was super impressed by is just his ability to scout talent, evaluate talent. He let off the interview with just an absolute bomb of news.
No, he didn't.
He basically said, I look like I could be a starting receiver at the University of Oklahoma.
No, all he heard was that you're 6'4".
Starting receiver.
And
Oklahoma.
You, with that height, you in
Athlete.
theory could be a receiver.
Well, the speed too.
And he never, no.
Well, he didn't say I was slow.
But he said in theory with your height. In theory, you could at your height. The things, you're just missing some elements to that.
Well, I'm too old, obviously. Just a little too old.
Yeah. Age, speed,
Too old. Well,
strength,
I'm old now.
Jumping. Jumping's a big one.
Okay.
You can't jump.
Started off the interview absolutely electric.
I'm a little offended.
He said, Chad, I saw Javon.
I at 5'3" don't look like an athlete.
Yeah, he's seen Darren Sproles. You've seen those guys. The Vaughn. Golly, what was it? Deuce Vaughn. You're pretty quick. Mm-hmm. He goes. He basically he invited us to practice and wanted to go 1-on-1. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it went.
Bench 210 the other day in the gym, by the way. So he got 225. What did he say? 13 times or something like that. So. That's so much.
You know what? I don't know what he said because at that point I was like, that's more than I could ever think about doing, so I'm just going to skip it.
It's so wild how they are just legit freak athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Doug Armstrong said, did spring practice start back today? No, it started back 2 weeks ago.
Well, they had a spring break, so they were off last week of practice.
Okay, but it started back March
today.
6th.
Yeah, it started March 6th, but it started
today.
Yeah, start back.
I don't know what he means. It was start back up after spring break or did the practices start back up? I believe it was March 6th.
March 6th, yeah, but
was the start date of spring practice.
But they did start back today for post spring break. So they had their where did the mission trip go? The Soul mission trip?
Rio de Janeiro.
Is that where they were? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they went there over the week. I guess totally.
I don't think you'd go for a weekend in Rio. That sounds horrible.
No joke.
You'd be so sleep deprived by the time you got there. You got to turn around and go back.
And yeah, that's where they were, and it did start back up today. I saw Reggie Powers. His parents share a lot of great stuff on Twitter. They're good follows if you want to kind of get as much behind the scenes as you can. They share a lot of good stuff. So hopefully we'll get access to practices and be able to.
We're just going to keep dropping that nugget there and hopefully speak it into existence.
That's what they say to do. I saw Mike Houck yesterday. I should have said hi. He's the head of sports information department.
Where did you see him?
He was at the basketball game.
We were at the
He was
basketball
10 feet
game
in front
on
of
Saturday.
us. Yeah.
That wasn't yesterday.
He was Saturday.
That's why
sorry.
I was confused. It's like, where were you yesterday? I was with you all day.
Didn't see him yesterday.
Okay, never mind.
You were with me all day. Yeah. So, next subject. Not really sure where we're going with this yet.
We were going to show that video, the uniforms.
I don't know where it is. I didn't know we were showing it.
Noob. I'll find it.
It's going to take you a long time to find that, I think.
No, I'm good.
Did you send it to me?
Potentially. Probably not, actually.
Let's go through some comments. Yeah. Stacy said, I'm disappointed about the ladies' clinic. Yeah, I know. It's tough. It actually was a really cool event. They do a lot of cool things there. Again, I hate to be this guy that brings this up every single time. But it's just, I think right now they're just wanting to make sure they have funds for everything else. Because it's not just they do make money off the auctions and all that, but that goes back to charity. And again, I'm not, maybe I'm totally wrong about this. I'm not going to act like I have inside info to OU's financials. I just think that every dollar they can spend is going to go to the football team directly, and it's not going to be saved for these little, tertiary events that they used to have. That next year, they're probably going to find out ways to balance it, make the budget fit. But there are some just realities, especially this first year where you're doing revenue share with the university, that are going to be cutting back on some things that I think we all really enjoy. Like I really enjoy the spring game as well. It was always really fun to go to. It was cool, like T was saying, to get to see some of the new people in pads for the first time, see how they move, and get to do all the other stuff that you get to do at the spring game. But T, being a awesome person, just shared with me the video that we are going to try to watch here in a second. So this is a question about their favorite uniforms, and I thought it was something that we could probably answer. That'd be a fun little, fun segment to talk about too, and get your comments in the get your opinions in the comments as well. So let me share screen here. Window. Screen, share audio, and boom. Share. Let me know if you all can hear this too, please. And here we go.
I grew up Sooner fan, so to me, wearing crimson with white is got to be the go-to, but you can't go wrong with all white.
I would say those gray Unity jerseys. Can't wait to put those on.
I like all white. They all look good.
I think the gray one's nice, real nice.
I say the Unity ones. The Unity ones, the toughest ones for sure. Even though we only wear them like once a year, we should wear them more. They tough.
Probably all white. They look good. It's hard.
Throwbacks. The combo goes good really well. I like the stripes on them.
I like the all white, man. It looks good.
I'll probably have to say the red tops and white bottoms. Keep it simple.
I like the all white. I like the all white, yeah.
I'm kind of liking the all whites, to be honest. It's clean when you go out on the field, and then you get dirty and it looks even better. So I'm kind of liking the all whites.
I like the red and the white. So just home basic uniforms. I think you feel comfortable in those, and you always win at home in them.
The Unity ones are really nice. The old ones, the little wood, what's it called? The wood grains, those are probably my all-time favorite.
Well, all-time bad take there from John Mateer. The wood grain Unities are terrible. But is what it is. They what are your favorite uniforms? What is your favorite uniform?
I've always said I think the all whites are my favorite uniforms, just because they're just so icy. They're so nice. I don't know. They're, like they mentioned, they're clean. The red really pops on them, and I love them.
True.
What about you?
Before we get to mine, I'm going to read an ad. It's called a teaser in the business, T. Get your business, product, service, or personal brand to the next level by partnering with the voice of college football. See what our partner, Win Agency, has to say about its experience with us. Sorry. Let's discuss how you can reach your target market. Contact us at the Sooner or sponsorship at Voice of College Football, vocfb.com today. And there we go.
Yeah, so once again, it's sponsorships at the Voice of College Football, which is vocfb.com today.
Boom. We need to just print those
And also,
out
while you're at it, go ahead and follow the Voice of College Football on Twitter and on X and on Instagram and all the things. They'll update with Oklahoma information. They'll update with just overall college football information. We're obviously all football freaks around here. So they'll update fun little facts. They'll update probably scores whenever it's football season time, any changes, maybe some like on-3 predictions, stuff like that. So go ahead and follow them. And while you're at it, follow us on X, especially at Chad P. Smith and _, and then at Tyranny _Kristen. So
yeah, we're almost at what, 8,000 or 6,000 subscribers on YouTube.
We're almost there.
Almost to 6,000. So help us out. And make sure you like the video too.
Yeah, let's get to the comments. So, what are your favorite uniform combinations? Let's see.
We have all white from
my
Coach
father-in-law.
Smith. My pops. What's up, Dad? How you doing? My mom says all whites too, or XOXO Sooner Girl.
We mean.
And then Stacy says, I'm between the white and red. I'm not a big fan of the Unity ones.
Yes.
The numbers are hard to read.
They are hard to read.
That's very true. I lean toward the white uniforms. And Doug Armstrong says the whites. All whites. Good evening.
Nate.
I like all whites, says.
All right, so we're running away with all white here at the Voice of College Football. I will say one thing that bothered me in that video, how they counted it. I needed 1, 2, 3, 4 dash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just, is that like a new Gen Z thing? Because I know a Gen Zer made that video. But like,
they've done too much.
Do the dash. Caden Idleman also says probably the all whites.
Boom.
All right, John, bringing some new red and whites. Does anybody, let's be honest, does anybody actually really like, I like the red and whites too, but does anybody actually like our alternates? I'll be honest, I don't care for them. I think we look like Nebraska.
Yeah, they're all right.
They're okay.
I think
they're my least favorite.
I am very anti-alternate for Blue Bloods. Alabama's not wearing alternates. I just think I don't know. I don't think any alternate really looks that great, to be honest with you.
Right. So like, no, definitely when if I rank them 1 to 4, I'm going all white and then red and white, the Unity, and then the Nebraska looking ones. Those.
Yeah. What about the wood grain ones? Those are
no. I'm glad we threw those out.
Those look like middle school, elementary school. Like,
I'm glad we threw those out. John Mateer. Sorry, dude.
You're 0 for 1, John.
You know what? They might have them in storage somewhere. Give him an extra one.
Yeah.
That he can wear around.
He can make up for it with 5 TD passes against Texas.
Yes. Man.
Alternate uniforms make me nervous. Oh, Stacy says alternate uniforms make me nervous.
Yes.
Those are games that seem to be rough. Yep.
Yeah, why? We don't know.
We also won the Big 12 championship with Kyler and them with them. So.
Oh, we did. But it was rough. It wasn't easy. It was a Grant Calcaterra amazing catch to win it. Thank you. I told you I'm not good at remembering random games and random plays, but some stick in your head.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Look at me go.
All right, let's get to other sports. Not a lot of other Sooner news right now. It's Monday. Maybe we'll have some more throughout the week that we can get to next Monday.
You mean football news?
Football news, yeah. There is some news, however, in other sports.
There is. So men's basketball unfortunately lost out in the first round of March Madness. However, they give a heck of a fight. Just at the end of the day, didn't make your layups.
God, frustrating.
Or anything, honestly. They didn't. They didn't shoot well. But
true.
Even with doing that, so it was the game the whole time. And I would like to publicly state, in an earlier show, I said I did not see the fight in the men, that I felt like they kind of were giving up. And announcers had said it too. I said I just didn't see the fight in the men that I saw in the women. Maybe they shadow watch our show and said, bet. Tyranny,
which we're proud to be
I'm glad to be wrong. So I'm very proud of the fight that they showed the last 10-ish games. It might be less than, it might be less than that, but it seems like 10. They've 6 maybe. I'm really proud of the fight that they showed, and because they could have given up, they could have rolled over, they could have proven me right, and I'm so glad that they proved me wrong. They fought hard, and even when they came up short in those games, they gave themselves a chance.
Right.
And just unfortunately wasn't enough at times. I will say that going to be interesting seeing kind of what happens in the off season with men's basketball. Nate just said Northweather entered the portal today. I'm kind of not shocked.
There's another guy that entered too. I can't remember his name though.
I don't remember, but it's going to be interesting to see who enters the portal. Is Villanova interested in Porter Moser, which I'm thinking as a Sooner fan, if Villanova's interested in your coach, probably a pretty good coach. Villanova, traditional, like that's their sport, men's basketball.
True.
So probably a lot more NIL there that he can work with, which in this day and age, it's pretty hard to make a really, really good team without a lot of the NIL money behind it. But we don't know. We'll see kind of how it goes.
How about some of these guys getting in? Who was a Michigan player who just entered the portal?
Could not tell you. I have enough to worry about with OU.
Sweet 16, and he entered the portal.
That's not surprising to me because there were people that were going to the college. There are people going to the college football playoff that were sitting out. It just shows that they're not about team. They're not about this experience. It's just about me. And no, I hope he doesn't find a team.
Oh, T's unapologetic.
Unapologetic. No, if you're abandoning your team in a when you're going the 60 team, like I hope you're one of those like 50% or something that doesn't find a new home. Anyways.
It looks like Oklahoma may have made an impact on what is that? Anaya Chavez? Aaliyah Chavez? I don't know how to actually say the name.
Aaliyah Chavez.
Saw her at the OU women's game, which is the next
Saturday.
Team I guess we can talk about.
Yeah, she was there. Sooner Nation showed her a lot of love. She's the number 1 recruit in the nation. It's between us and Texas. So I guess we'll just see.
She's from Texas, so
yeah.
There's a lot of that. Apparently Texas, rolled out the red carpet when she went up there. We had someone tell us that she was saying her family was really impressed with Texas and they wanted to see how much Oklahoma,
Yeah, they wanted to see how much Oklahoma loved her too, because Texas loved her.
We saw some football players go say hi. We saw a lot of fans go take pictures, stop by. Castiglione went there.
I would have gone and said hi, but by the time I was done talking to the people who gave us the tickets, she was gone. So I was like, oh, well.
Yeah. But there's no doubt that she is a big-time recruit.
She's definitely very talented. If she decides on OU, that'll be a good get. And she doesn't, then I guess I'd say good luck at Texas, but...
And I'll say I watched her film.
Pretty good.
I think she can play. I think she can play a little bit.
That'll be his.
No one else is saying it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is afraid to say it. I think that she is a good basketball player.
Yeah, number 1 in the nation.
Well, I haven't heard
Just
anyone. Everyone's just pretty saying.
Deep, but yeah, women's basketball though. Hey! Women's basketball and Ginny B.
Who said it? Was it OU Revenge Tour says, shout out to the Sooner Nation. That was the most filled I ever saw.
I'm jealous you got to go.
Center. I'm jealous too. That looked
work.
Awesome.
It sounded like a good crowd. It looked like a good crowd. It looks like a lot of different volleyball was there, football was there, Patty Gasso was there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure means the softball team was there. So I hope gymnastics was there. I don't know. I've heard a lot of other sports teams were there, which is phenomenal. I love that they're gonna back each other up. But definitely had a fantastic game today. Won by, was it over 30? Did it end up being over 30?
It was almost 30. I think it was 92-76, 92 or 82-56.
I can figure it out. I didn't get to see the final score. 96-62, so it was over 30. 34.
Was it 34?
Yeah.
They went by, they did win
yeah,
by
so
30.
they kind of kicked some Hawkeye tail feather. They put the owl in Iowa.
We'd have beat them with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is good, man. We wouldn't have been playing it. We wouldn't have been playing it with Caitlin Clark
been
at home
somewhere,
Yeah. But they will go on. They were going to play UConn. I mean, I think they stand a chance. If they play like they did today and hit some shots.
Buchers is playing well.
I don't know. I'm going to have to say OU has a chance.
She was
UConn's obviously a really good team, but I hope we can find a way to make Gino mad.
She's player of the year as a freshman. Buchers, right?
I have no idea.
I hope I'm saying her name right. It's really embarrassing if I'm not. Then she gets injured every year since then. First year back, she's healthy this year. It's dominant again. Mm-hmm. Now, not only does the OU get the pleasure of playing her in UConn, if we win, we play the best player in the country in Juju Watkins at University of Southern California.
Right. But hey, you never know.
But,
March Madness. I'd love for our teams to be a part of the madness, so that would be phenomenal. We'll be watching, but I think they have a chance.
Reagan Beard's out there abusing kids. The size different. I'll say this.
When we played, so we went to watch them play Florida Gulf Coast, which their tallest girl on the court was like 5'11".
Yeah.
And after that, they were all 5'6" and 5'7".
Now, one girl was the fastest girl I've ever seen.
And she was very, very fast. Number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very fast. But we were so crazily outsized them. And that's when we set the rebounding record for the NCAA tournament? Or was it just games?
I mean, we had 190,000 of them. I hope so. What was it, 72?
72? I
think it was 72.
Yeah, but again, when you're like 6 inches taller than their tallest girl, you should. But it's still phenomenal. I will say that if Florida Gulf Coast is playing anybody but us, I would have been cheering for them. I'm off. They had a little girl, number 14, my number. She's 5'4", small, and she was a shooter. Like, she shot it from deep. I was low-key rooting for her. Like, we were watching the game. I was like, oh, make it. But she didn't. I think she only made one. But, man, any, short shooters got my heart. And then their number 4, number 6, she was about 5'6", also was a short shooter. She was good. But I was kind of low-key kind of rooting for them at times. Not, like, over OU, but, like, when they made shots, I'm like, yeah, good shot, But that's just because I'm biased towards smaller basketball players.
True, that's fair.
But apparently we found out from our family friends who gave us the tickets, they're huge supporters of women's basketball. They've gone to the Final Four every year since, you said 2009? Something like that.
So, yeah.
But he said that the Florida Gulf Coast coach, that's hard to say,
Florida Gulf Coast
was
coach.
he's like the third winningest coach in women's college basketball.
Wow.
Like in history, like behind Gino and behind, can't remember who the other one is. So like winning, if you're behind Gino and like you're winning. And he said right before the season started, he'd been there like 29 years, something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He took a WNBA job. So to me, they must have made him an offer he couldn't refuse if you left a job almost 30 years where you're one of the winningest coaches in history. And then, yes, Pat Summitt, thank you. And to take the WNBA job, but who knows? So, but and no, I liked their coach too. She was fiery when I saw her. She was good, yeah. But that was a fun game. The score was not indicative of how close it actually was.
It did, yeah, you're right.
Because it was they cut it within, I mean, there was a single-digit game for a lot of it, but we just finally ran away with it in the fourth quarter, which, again, I like those small, scrappy teams. I love it. Like, it's not the size of the dog of the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog. So it was hard for me to, like, kind of not root for them at times. Obviously not over OU, but I was like, oh, like, good move. Like, lady next to I, number one did, like, a really nice Euro step. And we both went, oh! And, like, a couple OU fans turned around and looked at us, and we were like, and they, like, turned around and looked at us like, who are y'all cheering for? And we're like, we're sorry. Like, that was just a good move. Like, you just, I mean, come on. Tip the hat. That was a fantastic move that she made, but.
That was.
So happy for them. Oh, so it says, like, the male coach actually coached 2 games before leaving for the WNBA. That's even weirder. Huh.
Very interesting.
But their new coach, she seems phenomenal. But yeah, the women go on to the Sweet 16. Happy for them. It's Coach Jenny's first Sweet 16 with us, with the Sooners. Our first Sweet 16 since, I believe, 2013. So hopefully we can just keep on rolling because that would be so fun.
It would be fun. All right. Softball. You want to give them the update real quick?
Yeah, softball played Missouri over the weekend. Run ruled game 1. Wasn't really a ball game at all. Game 2, weird day. Man, we could not get a hit, and we dropped our first game of the season. I mean, congrats to Missouri. Won that one 3-1. Just was a weird game, and it kind of fell over into the next game. It's like our bats could not get going. Nelly got us a home run, but then I was like, come on, can anybody besides Nelly this weekend get a hit? Besides, like, the first game. I was kind of being a little bit dramatic. But Nelly was consistently hit the entire series. And finally, I believe in the 7th inning, our bat started to finally come alive. And we ended up running away from it. I think we ended up winning 5-1 or something pretty handily in the end. And we have another SEC series under our belt, which is great because we've won every SEC series going forward. Or going right now, and I hope we win them all going forward. Now, we will face Tennessee this weekend, which will be a really tough matchup. Tennessee is ranked in the top 10. I believe they're 6th. But I'm sure my brother can text me. He'd probably know. Hey, Derek, text me.
What are you talking about?
I said I believe Florida is ranked 6th in the nation.
Yep.
So, yeah, so almost top 5, but a top 6 matchup for sure. It's going to be a good one. Sophia Nugent, who is on our team, is still playing for Tennessee. She is still the catcher out there. So, yeah, go out to Love's Field and support them. Ken Adelman said, I think it's obvious that Sam Landry is their ace. I believe she is as well right now. I don't know where Lowry is. I don't know if they've really said or if I've just missed it. But Lowry is our freshman pitcher. She's been really, really good. We haven't seen her the last 2 weekends. But did I say Florida? Did I say we placed Florida?
What are you talking about? It's Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You said Florida, yeah.
I did.
I knew what you meant.
Sorry. Yeah, we placed Tennessee this weekend. I don't know where I got Florida. That's my fault.
Going back to
But we do play Florida later in the year. 7. Tennessee dropped. They could drop to 7 because I forgot they lost the series to Arkansas this weekend, which looks good for us because we swept Arkansas in Fayetteville. Sorry if I said Florida. They definitely play Tennessee. They play Florida, I believe, the last series, their last SEC series of the season, which will also be another cutthroat game because Florida will be seeking some revenge from last year. I believe Texas also is going to be cutthroat, 1, because it's Texas. And Oklahoma, 2, they're going to be seeking revenge from the Women's College World Series. So lots of really, really insane match. What you doing?
I'm wanting to answer this question.
Sorry.
Real quick. We had this asked, and it's when will they play again? They'll play Saturday, and they'll play in Spokane, Washington. To be determined on time and opponent, though, but 99% chance it'll be UConn.
Women's basketball.
Women's basketball, yes.
Sorry.
All right, now I'll go. What were we saying about the other stuff?
No, definitely. They'll be at Love's Field Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You're talking about revenge from the Women's World Series.
Texas and Florida are going to be seeking revenge on us after we beat them last year in the Super Regionals and the Women's College World Series. Thank you. I love seeing my brothers text me, give me all the updates. He said, freshman has a muscle strain. She's resting. So Lowry has a muscle strain. She's resting. Hopefully that means she's ready for Tennessee. You would think that would be what they were saving her up for. So we'll see. She's also phenomenal. Isabella Smith's just kind of had a rough time in SEC play. Kristen Deal. I don't know. We've seen her for a few years now. Kind of more of the same.
Yep.
There. Peyton Monticelli, been very impressed with her growth. She used to be very out of control but fast. Now she's kind of got a lot more control. Been very proud of her from what she's played, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go into details because I could talk to softball all day, and we're trying to keep it short. But we do have one more sport to cover: gymnastics, women's gymnastics.
Yeah,
They played in the SEC championship, competed, and there's the word I'm looking for, competed in the SEC championship this past weekend and ended up coming away with second, but did not perform to their standard. And I'm being objective.
They didn't.
Not even in the sense of sticks. Like, we had some miscues on vault from people who normally do not. We had 2 errors on bars that haven't happened all year. They didn't complete one of their transitions, which hasn't happened all year, which has caused us to have to score like a 9-8. We had on the Florida team, it seemed like almost every single girl for a while there was coming up short or not completing their tumbling passes, taking steps forward, which is a bigger deduction, obviously taking a step backwards if you're doing, I say obviously, I just learned that. So it just wasn't a good weekend for the girls as a whole. And somehow they still beat a Florida team who got 3 10s gifted to them. And they were still competitive with LSU, who I don't really notice any big errors. Granted, I wasn't really watching them as much, but
right.
They didn't have any like us where we had to score scores we normally wouldn't make, if that makes sense. Audrey Davis was robbed on bars. The announcers even said nobody deserves a 10 on bars if they're not going to give Audrey one because that routine was flawless. They go on to give 2 10s to Florida. We still beat them. Jordan Bowers was amazing on her floor routine. Faith Torres got a 10 on her floor routine, which was also amazing. Elle Mueller did fantastic on vault. She was about the only one, actually, that stuck vault. Vault. I don't know why I'm saying that. Vault. It's because I feel like when I say... I feel like when I say vault, I sound too southern.
Stick to your roots.
Vault.
No, you're not from the north.
She was the only one who actually stuck vault. So, good for her, but like we need to stick that a little bit more. I mean, we stick vault, even with our errors, we win.
True.
But we didn't. So, it's going to be a tough... Postseason, we go out, I believe, to Seattle, where they're going to have regionals, and then they'll go on to the NCAA tournament. So hopefully this is kind of a little kick in the butt that they need. Can't let the moment be too big. Got to focus up. Got to stick it.
If they just perform like they did in Norman the last few meets, they'd have won the SEC championship.
And that was my thing.
They're struggling to just to compete at their level that should be normal to them. And I think because they press whenever they get, for whatever reason, LSU's made them play outside of themselves, and they don't need to do that. They just need to just compete how you competed all year. Just you're there to do a floor routine. Just do it. Who cares if LSU is there? You're there to do beam, whatever it is. You just do it. Like the opponent is meaningless.
Right. And he's not saying just do it in the sense that he could go out there and do it that is easy. No, he's saying like trust your abilities. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just do what you've done your whole life.
Your opponent should never cross your mind. I never bought in. I hated this idea that your opponent gets you more motivated to play. I never understood that. Like your opponent literally should be. Maybe it's not human nature. Maybe I'm psychopathic. I don't know. I just have never once been like, oh, my opponent here isn't good. Your job is to do the best that you can do every time you're out there. I don't care if they were going up against the national 5th grade team. Your job is to get 10s. Your job isn't to beat LSU. You do what you've done forever, and just do it. Just do it. You just go out there and do your routine. Who cares? You're not there to beat another team. You're there to do your best. And our best wins every time.
Right. And KJ had mentioned too, like what happened last year at Nationals was essentially they got in their heads.
Right.
Because they saw one person mess up and then they got tense and they rushed and then it all fell apart. And that's kind of seemed like what kind of happened, honestly, on Saturday. Not to the extent that happened at Nationals last year, but you could definitely tell they did not look comfortable and they were rushing. And even, I mean, we're talking about from outsiders who did not grow up in the gym world. It looked that way many times. And I even tweeted, I said, man, all they needed to do was their average. I'm not talking, they didn't need to do perfection. They didn't need to get 310s like Florida did. They just needed to do what they do.
Right.
And that would have been
exactly
enough to win. It would have been enough to blow everybody out the water. But I don't know if it's just first SEC championship jitters or what it was. We got a lot of young girls. But, man, I hope, regionals, they just self-reflect on these R skills that they have done all year, that they've been phenomenal on all year, that you don't need to worry about what's going on around you. Just worry about what it is that you do. Worry about those routines that you've done, 10, 11 meets now. And, just focus on you. And hopefully, I know we're simplifying this probably, but we believe in them and we see their talent. And that's what's so crazy is like even they're so talented that even when they're messing up, even when they're not performing, they still have a chance to beat you, or they do beat you.
Second against the two other teams that are really good.
Right. They got second in the hardest division in women's gymnastics. You get second when you have two major errors on bars. A girl did fall off the beam. Her score didn't get counted, but she still fell off.
Which never happens for them.
The floor routine had several people that missed things they haven't missed all year. And I've watched every meet, so I'm being objective. Jordan Bowers, I haven't seen her do a vault like that all year. We didn't stick anything but L's vault. Like it just wasn't their typical selves, and I'm hoping the nerves are gone, their minds are right, and they really take the postseason in stride, and they can again don't have to do too much. Just got to be you. Being them is enough, and and KJ knows it because she's telling us like that is enough. So man, I'm just wishing them nothing but the best. We're hoping maybe we can make the nationals. It just kind of depends on. I think it actually falls on Easter weekend, so that's may actually be out. But we will be watching it regardless. We're watching them every step of the way going forward. And then one final note is baseball did win their SEC home opener against Mississippi State. They took 2 out of 3 games, so yeah, series to them.
Thank you, Nate Dogg, for that stat.
Yeah, Nate is the biggest OU fan I think I know. Like we're pretty big OU fans, but this man is at every event. I don't know if he lives around the corner from them and can just go to everything, but man, I don't care. He's still there. Even if he lived on campus, he and his kids are at seems like every sporting event, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. So anybody from OU that has any power connections, man, give this man all the tickets in the world because he will be there and he will be supporting them. So Nate, I hope that works out for you.
UConn is up 43-34. Okay.
For the women. So yeah, we're probably playing UConn. But yeah.
So there we go. That's a show. Thank you all for joining this Monday. Man, we're going to look back on these.
Zone ready for April.
We're going to look back on these days and just realize how much easier it is when there's actual football coming up.
Oh my gosh.
To talk about. It's going to be
We're looking
awesome.
for people currently to come join the show over the summer to kind of from other teams just to talk.
We'll have Brent Venables, John Mateer, all them coming on soon,
We'll just send them we'll shoot them a smooth DM.
I ran into Joseph Haraz a lot at the Chipotle. I won't say where because I don't want people, being weird, but ran into him like 4 or 5 times. I need to just be like, hey, Joey, you want to come chat it up? Talk strat. You think he knows what strat means?
I have 1 or 2 coaches that follow me. Let me just.
There you go.
No, that'd be so weird.
We'll get it done. We'll get some guests. We're doing our best.
Our philosophy now is kind of like the worst that can happen is they say no, So like I tried to message one of the gymnasts. Again, I know X isn't big in that generation, so I don't even know if she ever got it or read it, but she didn't get it. But if you are a gymnast or know a gymnast, tell them to check their messages. We'll have a special show just for her and anybody else who wants to come on. But yeah, so because I was like, I don't want to bother them, but also like I want to promote them because I think they deserve it and I think they're awesome. And Chad's like, the worst they can say is no.
Well, by the way, we're not criticizing. We're not saying they're not wanting to win. They want to win more than we want them to win. We said that about the football team too. But I see them pressing, and I just hate that for them because if they would just, and it probably comes just with being there a lot and doing it because they do have some young people. But just trust what you've trained, and just it really is
Yeah.
so easy to say. And
They're
after
good
you
enough.
realize, you're
They're-
good enough. You're better. You are the best team in the country. LSU and those teams should be thinking, "Dang, there's Oklahoma here." Like it's like we were going to win, but OU's there. What do you want us to do? Like, sorry, we're just not good enough. That's what
Right.
they should be pressing.
And again,
we're just there doing our routine.
They don't even need to press to be perfect. Press to
No.
be you.
Press to be
press to be what you've been all year, consistent and average, and that is 100% good enough.
Yep. You're there to just do your whatever you're doing. And at the end of the day, that's it. If you can simplify it down to that, you'll be perfect. So we should, after that, it's perfect. We should go coach gymnastics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before you leave, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment in the comment sections. Again, it can be mean. We don't care.
Yeah, it can be literally whatever
it can be whatever you want it to be, honestly. You can talk about our paintings in the background. Stuff. Where was I going with this? But yes, we are here every Monday at 7 p.m. We will be live together. Go ahead and follow us on X as well. Our names are down at the bottom, at Chad P. Smith _ and then at Tyranny _ Kristen.
Yep.
And then follow also the Voice of College Football on all socials. If you have a sponsorship, you can contact sponsorships at voicecollegefootball.com so we can, give you a little shameless plug there. And we hope to see you again soon.
Awesome. Y'all have a blessed week. Thank y'all for joining.
Bye.
Bye. Boomer.
Boomer.